You know that feeling, the one that shows up when the house is quiet, when the kids are finally asleep, when you should be resting, but your mind won't stop. What if we can't make it? What if he's pulling away? What if I'm not enough? What if everything I'm afraid of actually happens? It doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't need to. It just sits there, quiet, patient, persistent, and you've been carrying it longer than you want to admit. This is for you. There is a fear that doesn't knock loudly. It doesn't announce itself with a crisis or a phone call or a moment you can point to and say, that is when it started. It comes quietly, in the in-between moments, in the stillness, when the noise of the day finally fades and your mind finally has room, and it fills that room with questions you were not ready to answer. This is a story about that fear, and about the God who is bigger than every single one of them. It was there when Sofia woke up, before the coffee finished brewing, before the kids came padding down the hallway with their sleepy eyes and their morning requests, before the day had made a single promise or a single demand. It was just there, the way it always was, sitting in her chest like something she'd forgotten to put down the night before. She took a breath. She told herself today would be different, and she meant it, the way you always mean it in the morning before the day reminds you of everything you're carrying. She didn't mean to check the account. She had told herself she wouldn't, not first thing, not before she'd had a moment to just be. But the phone was right there, and the thought was already in her head. And before she could talk herself out of it, the numbers were staring back at her, cold, certain, without comfort. She set the phone down. She picked up her coffee. She stared at nothing for a moment and let the fear say what it always said. What if we can't make it work? What if I'm the reason we can't? What if no matter how hard I try, it's never going to be enough? She had heard those questions 100 times. She still didn't have the answers, and the not knowing was its own kind of weight. Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Matthew 6:25-26. He sees the birds, he sees the sparrows, and he sees you, sitting in your kitchen with your cold coffee and your quiet fear. He has not looked away. By afternoon, the fear had shifted. That was the thing about fear. It didn't stay in one place. It moved. It found new things to attach to, new worries to wear, new corners of her life to whisper into. In the morning, it had been the money. By afternoon, it was Marcus. He had been quiet at breakfast, not unkind, just elsewhere, like part of him was in a room she didn't have the key to. He kissed her forehead before he left for work, but he didn't quite meet her eyes. She told herself it was nothing. She told herself he was just tired, just busy, just having one of those days that everyone has. She was very good at telling herself things. She replayed it while she folded the laundry, the forehead kiss, the averted eyes, the way he had answered her question about dinner with 3 words when he usually gave her 10. It's nothing, she told herself again. You're reading into it. You're looking for problems that aren't there. But fear doesn't traffic in reason. It never has. It takes the smallest, most ordinary moment, a quiet breakfast, a distracted husband, a 3-word answer, and it builds a case. What if he's pulling away? What if something is wrong and he just doesn't know how to say it? What if I'm losing him slowly, quietly, and I won't even realize it until it's too late? She folded the same shirt 3 times. She still didn't feel better. Spread 7, scripture. Pause. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Psalm 61:2. Not if my heart is overwhelmed. When? David knew. He knew what it felt like to be in over your head, to be drowning in something bigger than yourself, to need a rock beneath your feet when everything around you felt like water. He didn't pretend he was fine. He just asked to be led somewhere higher. You can do that too. She passed the mirror in the hallway on her way to start dinner and stopped without meaning to. She looked at herself for a moment. Really looked. She looked tired. Not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep fixes. The kind that settles in behind the eyes and lives there. The kind that comes from carrying things for a long time without setting them down. And standing there in her own hallway, in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, she felt the fear shift again. This time, turning inward. What if I'm not enough? Not enough for Marcus, not enough for the kids, not enough at work, at home, in the quiet moments when no one is watching and I'm just me. What if the truest version of me is simply not enough? She turned away from the mirror. She started dinner. She did not let herself cry. Not yet. There was still too much left to do. She watched them from the kitchen doorway. Ezra was building something out of blocks, narrating the whole construction to himself in that serious little voice he had. Michaela was drawing, tongue out, fully concentrated, like whatever was happening on that paper was the most important thing in the world. Sofia watched them and felt 2 things at exactly the same time, the way only a mother can. A love so big it physically hurt, and a fear just as big, living right beside it. What if I mess this up? What if my anxiety becomes their anxiety? What if the worry I carry gets passed down to them, quietly, without my meaning to? And they spend their whole lives carrying it too. Ezra looked up and grinned at her, gap-toothed and completely unbothered. She smiled back and swallowed everything she was feeling and went back to dinner. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. Not a love that depends on your performance. Not a love that measures you against a standard and finds you wanting. An everlasting love. One that was there before you were born. That will be there when you are gone. That sees every version of you. The tired one, the afraid one, the one who couldn't quite hold it together today, and loves her anyway. Unfailing kindness, even on the days when you feel like you're failing at everything else. Dinner happened, baths happened, with the splashing and the negotiations about shampoo and the small person who absolutely did not want to get out of the tub. Bedtime prayers happened, goodnight kisses, one more glass of water, one more. I love you, Mommy. Called down the hallway just as she was finally sitting down. Sofia did all of it. She was present for all of it. And through all of it, the fear sat in the corner of the room, like an uninvited guest who had settled in for the night. Patient, quiet, entirely certain it belonged there. She was so tired, not just from the day, from the weight of it, from the years of carrying something she didn't know how to put down. When the house finally went still, Sofia sat on the couch in the dark and let the quiet happen. The kids were asleep. Marcus wasn't home yet. The television was off. And in that silence, the silence she usually tried to fill with her phone or a podcast or anything that kept her from being alone with her own thoughts, she just sat. And the fear sat with her. All of it. The money fear and the marriage fear and the mirror fear. The fear of not being enough and the fear of losing everything and the fear of a future she couldn't see or plan for or control. It was all there, laid out in the quiet like everything she had been running from all day. She looked at it, and for once, she didn't look away. She wasn't sure when the tears started. One moment she was sitting in the quiet, and the next she was just done. Done holding it together, done being fine, done carrying the weight of every what-if she had accumulated over the course of an ordinary Tuesday, and pretending it wasn't heavy. It was heavy. It had always been heavy. She was just very practiced at pretending otherwise. So she let herself feel it. All of it. The fear of not having enough. The fear of not being enough. The fear of losing Marcus. Losing herself. Losing the life she loved. The fear of the future. Wide and uncertain and impossible to plan for. The fear that had been sitting in her chest since morning. Quiet and patient and waiting for exactly this moment. She didn't push it down. She didn't talk herself out of it. She brought it to the only one who had ever actually been able to do something with it. She slid off the couch and onto her knees. She didn't have the right words. She wasn't sure she had any words at all. Everything she might have said felt too small or too big or too tangled to say out loud. So she didn't try to say anything eloquent. She just came, broken, tired, afraid, and completely, entirely out of her own resources. She came the way you come when you have nothing left to offer, when you've stopped performing and stopped pretending and stopped trying to have it all together, and you just kneel in the dark and say, I can't, but you can, and that is going to have to be enough. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. All of it, not the manageable parts, not the ones you've already half processed and organized into tidy little categories, all of it. The messy fear and the embarrassing fear and the fear you haven't even named yet. The fear you've been carrying so long it feels like a part of you. He can hold it. He has always been able to hold it. He has been waiting for you to let him. One by one, she laid him down, the bank account, with its cold numbers and its quiet accusation. The distance she had felt from Marcus that morning. The face in the mirror that looked so tired. The children she loved more than she knew how to say and couldn't protect from everything. The future, all that wide, uncertain, uncontrollable future. The version of herself she was afraid she would never quite become. She named each one, she held it for a moment, and she let it go. Not because the fear was gone, not because she'd suddenly found the answers, but because she was done being the one who held it. She was done carrying what was never hers to carry. She laid it all down, and she left it there. Something changed. It wasn't dramatic. There was no rushing wind, no voice from heaven, no sudden sense that everything was going to be fine. It was quieter than that. It was the difference between standing in a storm alone and standing in the same storm, but knowing you are not alone. The fears were still real. The questions were still unanswered, The bank account had not changed. Tomorrow would still come with its own uncertainties. But something in Sofia had shifted. She was no longer the one responsible for carrying all of it. She had handed it to someone bigger. And for the first time all day, her chest felt like it had room to breathe. You will keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is steadfast, because she trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. Perfect peace. The word in Hebrew is shalom, and it means more than the absence of trouble. It means wholeness, completeness, nothing missing, nothing broken, not the peace that comes when life is easy. The peace that comes when your mind is fixed on the one who holds all things, even the things you can't hold yourself. That peace is available to you right now. In the middle of the fear, in the middle of the unanswered questions. It is not waiting for your circumstances to change. It is waiting for you to trust. Sofia stayed on her knees for a long time, not because she was still praying, though she was in the way that breathing is a kind of prayer when words have run out, but because she didn't want to move yet. She wanted to stay inside this feeling for just a little longer. This peace that she hadn't earned and couldn't explain. This stillness that had settled over her like something warm. She thought about all the times she'd tried to manage the fear herself. All the times she'd organized it, reasoned with it, pushed it down, outrun it. All the times she'd promised herself she would worry less, stress less, hold things more loosely, and then promptly picked everything back up again. She thought about how exhausting it had been and how unnecessary. Be still, he had said, and know that I am God. She was learning, slowly, imperfectly, on her knees in the dark. She was learning. She heard the door, footsteps in the hallway, the sound of keys on the counter. And then Marcus appeared in the doorway of the living room, still in his work clothes, looking tired in the same way she had looked tired all day. He saw her on the floor. He didn't ask questions. He just crossed the room, sat down beside her on the carpet, and put his arms around her, and she let him. They didn't talk for a while. They just sat together in the quiet. And she realized, somewhere in the warmth of that this was part of the answer too. Not Marcus fixing anything. Not Marcus having the right words. Just the two of them, side by side, in the dark. Not pretending to be fine. Sometimes that is what love looks like. Not perfect. Just present. The fears were still there in the morning. She would be lying if she said they weren't. The bank account was the same. The uncertainty was the same. The long, uncontrollable list of what-ifs had not shortened overnight, but she was different. She stood in the kitchen with her coffee and she felt it. Not the absence of fear, but the presence of something stronger than it. A steadiness she hadn't had yesterday, a quiet, settled sense that she was not doing this alone, that she had never been doing this alone. She breathed, she picked up her phone, she put it back down, and she started her morning with a prayer instead. Fear will knock again. It will find you in your kitchen, in your mirror, in the quiet of the house after everyone has gone to bed. It will ask its questions and build its cases and sit in the corner of the room like it belongs there. And when it does, you don't have to run from it. You don't have to fight it alone. You don't have to have the answers. You only have to do one thing. Bring it to him every time, as many times as it takes. He has never once turned away a woman who came to him broken. He will not start with you. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Be still, not because everything is fine, not because the fear has gone quiet, but because He is God and you are held, and that is enough.